Sometimes we try, and sometimes we fail. Sometimes we stay, and sometimes we bail. Sometimes we swim, and sometimes we flail. And then eventually we die, bum, bum, bum. Sometimes you're good, and sometimes you're bad. Sometimes you're high, and sometimes you're sad. Sometimes you leave, and sometimes I'm glad. And then eventually we die, bum, bum, bum. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's broken. Sometimes it's said, and sometimes unspoken. Sometimes a prize, and others a token. And then eventually we die, bum, bum, bum. Sometimes we try, and sometimes we fail. Sometimes we stay, and sometimes we bail. Sometimes we swim, and sometimes we flail. And then eventually we die, bum, bum, bum. Sometimes you're good, and sometimes you're bad. Sometimes you're high, and sometimes you're sad. Sometimes you leave, and sometimes I'm glad. And then eventually we die, bum, bum, bum. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's broken. Sometimes it's said, and sometimes unspoken. Sometimes a prize, and others a token. And then eventually we die, bum, bum, bum.
Okay, oh, I can't do that hand. Hello, Internet. This is Seth Fan Forever. That's the number 4 and Eva with an A. Today, I am reporting from the hospital. And as an addendum to my I Love Boobies public service announcement, I'd also like to make another public service announcement that is very close to my heart. That is my heart, because heart disease is the number 1 killer of women in America. And so, as much as we love our boobies and care for them and hope that they do not lead to our eventual deaths, so we also wish the same for our hearts. The little muscle in there that keeps going like this, and that's why you're alive. Also, I have an IV. There's stuff going into the IV. This is not going to be my best video, but you can't talk about women's health without talking about heart disease. So get that stuff checked out. Preferably not in an emergency room.
Hello, Internet. This is Seth Fan Forever. That's the number 4 and the letter A. Hello, Internet. I am Seth Fan Forever. That's Seth. Wait, no, that's see. Why? I'm just doing a bad job. Hello, Internet. This is Seth Fan Forever. That's the number 4 and Eva with an A. You may notice that I was taking my pulse, and that was not just for gags, although I do find it funny. out of the closet and started to feel worse immediately. I think it was because I had been doing a lot of standing up and sitting down, and I have orthostatic hypotension. Now my battery is going to die. I'm literally having the worst luck filming this. Okay, well, I guess I've gotten to the point where they're about to swoop me in and take me into the emergency room. I guess I can take a break and charge the camera. Where was I? I was talking... Okay, so I get to the emergency room. I'm in a wheelchair. The lady's like, you have chest pain? But you don't have chest pains, do you? I'm like, yeah, I always do. Usually right here. So it's nothing new. Well, you can't say that and not get the full rigmarole. So, what followed was I pretty much did not pass go, did not collect $200. I went straight past the triage and into the emergency room. Finally, we're at the deep end of the emergency room, and we pull up to this huge, really brightly lit white room with wall glass. The room is like twice as tall as the normal emergency room, but they've got to do what they've got to do, and I'm glad that they do, because I would rather not die of an aortic aneurysm, and if that had been happening, they would have been the people to figure it out. And that was probably a bigger possibility than, for instance, a heart attack would have been. Don't want any of those things, but, you know, obviously I would take whichever one had the best survival rates. So everything seemed kind of fine, but inevitably they came in and decided that they wanted me to wear a heart monitor. Now, this is not the first heart monitor. In fact, if somehow there are people out there who actually watch my videos, so I had a lot of friends back in the day. Not so much anymore. But if any of you who are out there are watching this and you do remember when I had to wear a heart monitor before, please put below in the comments, because I would love to hear that. I have wondered, I mean, is that the sort of thing that people remember? Like, it would also be really great to hear from some of the friends that I don't hear from anymore. So down below in the comments, do you remember me wearing a heart monitor? And I actually used to wear this shirt a lot. This is a great shirt for heart monitors because it's very loose and you can't even see that there is a heart monitor under my shirt. This is the actual heart monitor, and I did ask permission. I said, can I make a video about this? Is there any reason that I can't show this equipment on the video? And they said, no, as long as you give it back, we don't really care. And I said, well, in the meantime, I'm going to make it a star. So it has you probably can't see a lot on it. Oh, my battery is dying again. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to talk about the heart monitor. Okay, well. Okay, let's see if I can get to the end. I'm having some skin irritation. Actually, I may try to show you to see if you can see on camera some of the rashes. Then there was something else. I was talking about the heart monitor itself. Okay. This diary is an important part of the Holter procedure. It is important to list the exact time of any activity that may affect your heart rate or any symptoms you may feel during the test. Do not get the recorder wet. However, if the recorder does become wet, there is no danger of electrical shock. That's great. Last time I thought it was 6 weeks, and then they cut it short to maybe 4 weeks, but it's possible it was more like 3 weeks, and they cut it short to 2 weeks, or 2 weeks, and they cut it short to 1 week. I would have these terrible allergic reactions to the nodes. You can see one visible here. Every time because you have to, change the pads pretty frequently, like when you're going to bathe, and which I stopped doing toward the end because I hated having to remove them. I would peel them away and they would remove the top layer of skin almost like it was dry and papery, like onion skin. And beneath that there would be bleeding and oozing sores and blisters. I mean, it was really horrible. It looked like when you removed the nodes, there was like leprosy underneath. It was horrible. And they would have me then try to put it nearby, but it wasn't really possible. So a lot of times I had to put the sticky node right back on. I'm actually allergic to the medical adhesive. I had, due to the allergic reaction, a lymph node in my armpit swell up to the size of a golf ball. It was probably one of the worst parts of the experience, aside from the fear that the monitor might detect something terrible, obviously. Now, I do have one note in particular who's not having fun and who keeps wanting to pop off, and it is the one on the top, I'll show you here, of my left breast. I think because my breast is not a flat surface and it's a little bouncy and wiggly like a waterbed, these nodes are not staying. Now, there would be 1 here, 2, 3, and then 1 here. I'm missing a guy. There's a 5th dude. I should probably make sure nobody detect. Who am I missing? Now, I don't know if there's anything else that's interesting about this guy. And the battery is dying again, so I might as well just try to finish this up. So again, if you are one of these old friends and you do remember me wearing the heart monitor, no hard feelings about not coming to my wedding, just go ahead and comment below. Also hit like and maybe subscribe, that would be pimp. That's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something, like maybe to tell jokes or just let the battery die. I could just keep being jolly till the battery dies. Being jolly till the battery dies. A little red flashing light lies. 'Cause there you go, it's the battery dies. Battery dying, dying, dying now. The battery is dying, dying, dying. Battery is dying. Battery is dying, dying, dying. Battery is dying. Little red flashing light. And this is where it is, right here. For me, right here on the screen is where the flashing light is. It's going boop, 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 boop. And yet here we are. So,